I hope everyone had a good Christmas. Mine was great. Spent the last 2 days with both sides of my family. Spent the day yesterday playing football with my nephews. Both sides of the family. Enjoyed the holiday this week. It was a great Christmas. Wife is happy. Child is happy. Everyone is happy. Except for the woke welfare collectors at the Cemetery News Network. Unfortunately for those at CNN, wasn't exactly a holly jolly Christmas. The year of our Lord 2024, it's coming to an end. This is the time of year where organizations look back at the year and they reflect. It was a record year here on the channel. We eclipsed 100,000 subscribers, a milestone that only 0.7% of content creators here on YouTube are fortunate enough to achieve. Can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you for helping me get there. Channel averaged 40,000 views a video this year, which is nearly double what we averaged in 2023. But it wasn't just a great year for me. 2024 was also a great year for Major League Baseball. We are seeing a renaissance right now in Major League Baseball. The league is filled with young stars and they're actually marketing them. Rob Manfred has made changes to the game that makes baseball easier to consume on television. As a result, ratings for the playoffs, highest they've been in years. 2024 was also a great year for Fox News as they once again dominated the ratings in cable news. 2024 was a good year for News Nation, home of Chris Cuomo. Hey, it's me, Chrissy C! Hell, 2024 was so generous, it was even a record-breaking year for the WNBA dump. For the first time in decades, people were actually watching pretend basketball, even with jealous dump divers giving people every reason not to watch. The star power of Caitlin Clark elevated this painfully boring league, and yet somehow the WNBA still managed to lose $40 million. 2024 was an important year in politics and pop culture as America eradicated the woke fungus. For the first time in years, people are going into the new year with hope. People are confident about the future of the country. They are looking forward to going to the grocery store and not having to pay $15 for molded lettuce. 2024 was a great year, especially the end of 2024, but it was a great year for most of us. Key words, most of us. For the woke welfare collectors at CNN, 2024 was the fourth consecutive year filled with panic and huge embarrassing failure. Primetime viewership declined by 45%. CNN is drawing the smallest audience in the 25 to 54 demo in the history of the network. With primetime ratings less than 400,000 viewers, CNN is consistently beaten by reruns of ridiculousness on MTV. Unsurprisingly, employee morale at CNN all-time low. For some, this was their last Christmas on woke welfare. Their future is uncertain. Hell, the future of the entire network is uncertain. What is reportedly certain, though, is as soon as the calendar hits 2025, hundreds of people at CNN could be filing for unemployment. And unlike their previous layoffs, this exodus, it is likely to affect the wannabe stars who are responsible for destroying the credibility of this network. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. Earlier this morning on the second channel, we talked about the NFL's disastrous debut on Netflix yesterday. There might be another video on the second channel this afternoon. I haven't decided yet. There will either be another video here on the main channel or the second channel. Either way, there's going to be another video today. More than likely, though, it's going to be on the second channel. Trying to lighten up my schedule just a bit through the rest of the year. This little break that I've been on, it's been good for me. Haven't taken a break like this since last December, and I really needed the time to recharge. But anyway, subscribe to the second channel if you haven't already. Things have gotten so bad at CNN, they are being called out by their own side, their own supporters. Last week, one of the dozens of unknowns at CNN was interviewing Democratic Senator Dick Durbin. Dick was feeling a bit stiff last week. He definitely wasn't in the Christmas spirit. He was complaining about senators not receiving a pay raise in the last 10 years. Really? How out of touch can you be? We have got families living paycheck to paycheck. We have got families putting water in their cereal instead of milk. And Senator Dick has the audacity to complain about not getting a raise on his six-figure salary? Whoever in the hell this was from CNN that was interviewing Dick Durbin, he pressed the senator about complaining about his raise. Now, to his credit, this unknown from CNN, he was just doing his job. What he didn't expect was this bitter response from Dick Durbin. Watch it for yourself.
Do you guys deserve a pay raise?
Well, that's news to me. It's good news. You know, what has it been, 10 years or 14 years and no COLA, no change at all? I think it's about time something's done.
You support giving yourselves a pay raise?
How would I not know about a pay raise?
But I mean, people look at the performance of Congress and say, why should we give them more money?
What about the media? Think about that for a second.
We're not paid by public money.
I know you're not, but I mean, half of your listeners are not there anymore. You're still getting the same paycheck? What's going on?
That is how bad things have gotten at the Cemetery News Network. The perceived loser in this clip, it should have been Dick Durbin. Congress is trying to get away with giving themselves a raise while American families are struggling under the lack of leadership of Johnny B. Biden. And of course, I can't forget his pretend vice president, cackling Cam Harris. She deserves as much credit as Johnny B., maybe even more, for the destruction of the American economy. But without a doubt, Dick Durbin should have been perceived as the loser in this exchange. But ratings have gotten so bad at CNN, the performance of this network is so poor, CNN comes out of this exchange looking like the biggest failure in a situation that features heavyweight embarrassing failures. Reason being, Dick Durbin was absolutely right in the point that he made about CNN. How are these unknown stars continuing to cash the same paychecks while they're delivering half the audience? Hell, they're not even delivering half the audience anymore. 4 years ago, CNN was averaging 1.8 million viewers in prime time. 2020 was the most watched year in the history of the network. 4 years later, they are averaging 397,000. Yet Andy Cooper, Wolf Blitzer, woof, 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 Caitlin Collins, Katie Woo, they are still drawing the same paycheck for now. According to the Washington Post, employee morale is low at CNN and people are worried about their jobs. The Washington Post spoke to several current and former CNN employees on the condition of anonymity. One of them was a senior producer who wished to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. The senior producer explained that one of the main reasons for concern at CNN is the complete lack of transparency. There has been no indication from management as to when there's going to be a layoff, who's at risk of being let go, or if there's even gonna be a layoff. Behind the scenes, there is nothing but rampant speculation and panic. The future of CNN is uncertain, and instead of focusing on areas of improvement, CNN, they're focusing on making excuses for their failure. According to the Washington Post, CNN is now looking past television ratings as a way to measure their success, or in this case, as a way to measure their embarrassing failure. I wonder why. I wonder why CNN is now deciding that ratings don't matter. CNN is now trying to rebrand themselves as the top digital news outlet in the world. Where have I heard that before? Where have I heard this same excuse from an organization that is struggling to draw an audience on television? Oh, the NBA. The NBA loves to point to their success on social media as a way to disguise their rapidly tanking ratings. You know who doesn't give a shit about social media? Advertisers. You know, the people paying your bills. Like the NBA, CNN is also blaming cord cutting for their embarrassing performance in the ratings. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am tired of that excuse. I am tired of seeing these multi-billion-dollar organizations blaming cord cutting for their own incompetent failures. You know why people are canceling their cable or their satellite subscriptions? Well, Casey, it's become too expensive. Yeah, for some people, that is definitely the reason, but for others, it has less to do with the expense and more to do with a complete lack of value. Most people, not all, but most people don't mind paying for something or paying more for something if it's worth it. My yard guy is expensive. I could have someone else take care of my yard and they would be $20, maybe $30 cheaper. Over the course of a month in the spring or the summer, they would be $100 cheaper every month. But I don't mind paying my yard guy more. Why? Because I know every time he cuts my yard, it's going to be done right. I don't have to ask him to trim the shrubs. I don't have to ask him to trim the palm trees or the sago palms. He just does it. The only time I have to lift a finger with my yard is when I reach in my wallet to pay him. The extra money I pay him, it's worth it because he provides value. Same thing with television. Networks like CNN, they're focusing on the wrong thing. They are completely missing the point. They are focusing on the symptom instead of the real problem. The problem with cable television, it's not exclusive to the price. The problem with cable, prices have gone up while the quality of programming has drastically declined. If people were paying $150 a month and they were being entertained 7 nights a week, there would be minimal complaints. But they're not being entertained because most of these networks, they're not creating new content. They're just airing reruns. And the networks like CNN who are producing new content, they are presenting polished turds. They are telling their audience that they're racist, they're misogynist. CNN spent the last 4 years lying to their audience, and they wonder why people are no longer watching. With CNN now calling themselves the digital leader in global news, they're trying to find a way to monetize their digital audience. They're trying to find a way to convince those customers to pay for the shit sandwich that they're currently consuming for free. Back in October, CNN started putting digital content behind a paywall. They're now charging $4 a month, but they're offering customers one hell of a deal. For the small price of $4, you not only get the shit sandwich, you also get the polished turd. Now, how many people are paying? Well, no one knows because CNN refuses to publicize the number of subscribers, which tells me no one is paying for this garbage, because if they were, CNN would be bragging about it. There is not a doubt in my mind there is going to be layoffs at CNN this year at some point in 2025, and I'm not talking about staffers, I'm not talking about producers. I'm sure some of them will be included, but I'm talking about the unrecognizable faces on television. I'm talking about the unknown stars responsible for tanking these ratings. Someone's woke welfare is going to expire. Earlier this year, I heard that Andy Cooper had taken a break from polishing the turd to start polishing his resume. Andy is worried about his job. Who else is worried? Who else is at risk? You tell me, who should be worried about their job security at CNN? Also, with the future of the network uncertain, is CNN at risk of being left behind? Is CNN at risk of falling out of the mainstream? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Best way to contact me is through email, btlkc84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys later.